What is going on YouTube? Just another gaming channel, bringing you just another video. Now what we have here is part 3 of the new patch notes, patch 2.3.0 of June 2016 for Destiny. So we've covered the Titan and we have covered the Hunter. So let's have a look at the Warlock. Now what we're going to do with the Warlock is now there's been a lot less changes to the Warlock. So we're going to cover the Warlock changes, and then we're going to move on, and there are some general weapon fixes, so auto rifles, hand cannons, exotics, ammo, perks, and then there's been some changes to activities like strikes and prison of elders. So I'm not going to go through all of those, but anything that does pop up I will mention it. Again, you'll see one of my previous videos where I did actually record the patch notes page and slowly scroll down them, and I did that so you guys can pause that video anytime you want and have a look for yourself. So these are just these follow-up videos of me just talking about them, really, just in case you don't have the time to sit and look and read through things. So I thought I'd just make it a little bit easier for you. So the Warlock Sunsinger. Now a lot of people are going to be happy about this. The fireball grenades have finally been nerfed. So what do these nerfs include? So the Sunsinger. So the fireball grenade increased arming time by 0.2 seconds. So whether that's from the time you pull it out to throw it, or from the time it hits the ground before then it bursts out and tries to track and attack the target, there's an extra 0.2 seconds. Now that sounds like nothing, but in the heat of battle, in FPS games where things move in frames per second and milliseconds, actually that could make a difference. The decreased victim search radius has been reduced by 1 meter. So sorry, they've decreased the victim search radius by 1 meter. So as you know, the fireball grenade gets thrown and then it spits out a stream of fire that attacks the target. Now the grenade itself has a 360 degree by 360 degrees, so it can move up, down. It's fully spherical. What they've done is reduced that by 1 meter on every side, so you've more chance of escaping them now. We still don't know what the actual distance is of attack, but 1 meter less is a meter less. So you could be standing, in previous times you'd be hit by the grenade and set on fire and killed. You might be standing in the usual position you do now, and the grenade doesn't hit you, so that's great. So the melee scorch, the flame shield, there's a 0.3 second delay added before the overshield activates. Passives on the Sunsinger. Viking Funeral. This no longer extends to the duration of igniting effects. So that's quite good. You know how long if you get hit by something, you get set on fire, you burn forever. You're out of gameplay for 15-20 seconds with low health. Now this is great for PvP, but these elements that they're nerfing are brilliant in PvE. They're really useful things, and I wish they could separate code so that the items knew the difference between PvP and PvE. And I'm sure it's possible. You could just put a block segment code straight down the middle of the game. When you go past this point, these objects and abilities do these things. When you're not in this point anymore, they do these things. In this room they do this, in this room they do A, and in this room they do B. I mean, it could be done, just a lot of work. And I don't think Destiny designed the infrastructure very well for making changes. I think for a great game you need to spend extra years and extra millions of dollars on the parts, the working systems that we don't see, the infrastructure, the coding, the substructures, and how they can be manipulated in the future. But anyway, so Viking Funeral no longer extends to the duration of the ignite effects. Viking Funeral now weakens targets afflicted with ignite effects, causing them to take 5% more damage from all sources, stacking up to 3 times. So that's interesting. So does that mean that, from what I'm gathering from that, when you're inflicted with ignite and you've got Viking Fiend on, you take 5% damage from all damage sources. So another grenade, a bullet, melee, and that's got that's a 3-time stack. That's interesting. I'll have to look into that more and test it out and see how that works out. So, Voidwalker, Glide, Blink now incurs a -1 recovery penalty. So does that mean, is that a buff? Does that mean that's a buff? It's a -1 recovery penalty. So does that mean they've brought the recovery penalty in? I'm not sure on that one. What do you guys think? That to me sounds like they brought the recovery penalty in, because the blink on the Warlock has never been it's never felt as good as the Hunter, but maybe they've tweaked it so that it does now. So the Nova Bomb, base damage increased by 50%. Hells yeah. And on top of that, additional 50% against air combatants. That's brilliant. Lance. Now Lance is the one that is Lance the one that splits into 3? I think it is. That now increases Nova Bomb damage by additional 25%. So what's good about this is that, you know, the amount of times I've clipped people with Nova Bombs and they've been on the push edge of it and they've not taken the true damage has been very frustrating. So that 50% extra damage actually might be very useful in getting the kills that you felt like you should have got. And that's all there is for the Warlocks. It's a very short piece. So as I said, I'm gonna have a little glance as I'm commentating. You know, this is post commentary on the video, but it's live commentary while I'm reading the notes. So as I'm glancing through it, anything that I pick up, I will bring to your attention. So we've got weapons. There is a full weapon tuning update preview. You know, I'm going to click on that right now just to have a quick look at it and see what it looks like. And do you know what I might do? This might be something I should probably come back to and do another freeze frame, pause it, and let you guys have a look at that, because that looks very detailed, shall we say. So okay, so let's have a look. I'm just gonna, if I'm quiet for here and there, we're gonna because I'm looking for some things. So auto rifles reduce damage on high rate of fire auto rifles by 6%. An example of that is the Doctrine of Passing. Now that 6% is also that is in addition to the 2.5% that they decreased it by the last update. Hand cannons increased initial accuracy and decreased accuracy drop for low range hand cannons. Okay, makes damage fall off curve steeper to better coincide with intended effective range of hand cannons. So what they're saying there is essentially you might be shooting someone at long range. You know how hand cannons used to be. See them back at map and used to bang bang and used to be able to drop them. Well, now what they're saying is you'll actually see a drop off where the point is you're not doing any damage to somebody because they're too far away. So now you're going to gauge more accurately the range of your hand cannons. There's been a small increase to PvE damage to all hand cannons. Amount depends on the enemy class. Okay, so ammunition. It now takes less time for your ghost to automatically grab ammo for you when you're running low on ammo. Okay, I didn't know the ghost grabbed ammo. I thought we picked it up, but hey, who cares? Exotics, slight reduction to Hawkmoon stability, -5. You know, that was pretty unstable anyway when you're trying to smash it. Slight reduction to counterbalance effectiveness. So this is a perk. Counterbalance reduces 80% of recoil angle instead of 90%. Okay, so they've tweaked that by 10. This is going to be interesting. I know a lot of the Planet Destiny guys talk about this. The Twilight Garrison with the Titan skating. Now you can only dodge once now. They've moved the tactical air support ability to a single dodge on a 3-second cooldown, because you used to be able to essentially skate through the air this way and that way. That was brilliant. Now, activities, missions. Now, I didn't know there was alternative endings, but apparently the alternative ending to the Paradox can now be completed at any time by selecting it from the directory on the heroic difficulty. The alternative ending to Loss of Light can now be, you know, The firewall mission will now be available as soon as the player has turned in the required items to access it. So I didn't know there was alternative endings. I'm going to have to do some research into that and see what's what. Quick look at Prison of Elders. Level 41 Prison of Elders. Arena actively. Tooltip now properly indicates remaining weekly legendary mark rewards. Okay, so there must have been an issue with how many remaining legendary marks you could get. So what they've also done is the Challenge of Elders. If Alex grows impatient, point deduction now grows more severe the longer you are given in a section. So basically they've made it more aggressive. Point deduction equals 50 times the number of times he has grown impatient. So if he's grown impatient 6 times, it's 6 times 50 points. So, you know, you get how that works. Been some interesting changes in strikes. I'll make them more valuable, more interesting. Heroic strikes now include 3 randomly selected group of modifiers. One modifier from each group will be applied each week. So in Group 1, there are Small Arms, Specialist, Brawler, and Catapult. Group 2, Airborne, Solar Burn, Arc Burn, and Void Burn. Group 3, Juggler, Fresh Troops, Ironclad, Exposure, Chaff, and Berserk. Trickle will not be applied to Heroic Strikes, thank God. Crucible. All weekly rotating activities in the Crucible now feature weekly rewards. All weekly rotating activities, okay. Didn't know what that means, but fair enough. And that's about it. There's a few issues that the fixed with legendary marks not been awarded properly. They talk about the new orange, magenta, and green chromas. And some user interface issues. So hopefully that's been useful for you. Now, just to remind myself and to let you guys know, I will look at the weapon tuning update preview page, and I might actually go in detail and read. I might actually read that to you guys, and just have some gameplay in the background, so you know what the fine tuning of the weapons and how it will actually affect you. So anyway, guys, I hope that information has been useful. I hope the breakdown of me reading the new patch notes has been useful. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you did watch. I hope that you'll subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And I will see you guys next time. So cheers.